Welcome back, everyone, to my channel. I'm Andrea, and this is Andy on Set, my little corner of the internet where I get to talk with you about all the series and movies that truly stay with me. And today, I really want to talk about The Water, starring Engfo Waraha and Charlotte Austin, our beloved Englot. What's honestly surprising me the most about The Water, which is part of the massive Four Elements project, is that at first I genuinely thought I was about to watch the classic romantic drama full of tension, desire, chemistry, and obstacles. And yes, all of that is definitely there, but as the story kept unfolding, I realized this series is actually talking about something much deeper: identity, about who we really are when nobody's watching us, and especially how difficult it is to understand whether we're living for ourselves or simply becoming the version of us that other people want. Lada, is probably the character that stayed with me the most because she constantly feels trapped between who she is, who she wants to become, and who everyone around her expects her to be. And you can feel that conflict so strongly in her relationship with her father. He perfectly represents this deeply patriarchal mindset where women only exist inside predefined roles: to serve, to reproduce, to stay composed, to stay obedient, and to stay in their place. And honestly, I think the series does an incredible job showing how suffocating and emotionally exhausting it can be to grow up inside a system that teaches you your worth depends on how useful you are to others, instead of who you truly are as a person. Then there's Lada's personal journey itself, and one of the saddest things about her storyline is how desperately she seems to spend the entire series searching for a place in the world that actually feels like hers. A place where she belongs. And that pain becomes even more brutal through her relationship with Haya. Because Haya never truly looks at Lada as a human being, he looks at her like a tool, like something that's supposed to work in his favor. And the worst part is that he carries the exact same ideals as their father, almost like this toxic system automatically gets passed down from one man to another. The moment Lada stops giving him what he wants, he has absolutely no problem betraying her. And honestly, watching that dynamic hurt me multiple times throughout the series purely out of empathy. Haya is such an ambiguous character. Extremely ambiguous. And I honestly think that's exactly what makes him one of the most interesting characters in the entire show. You can never fully place him into one category. Sometimes he almost feels human, almost redeemable. And then suddenly you see that manipulative, opportunistic side of him again, and it leaves you wondering whose side he's truly on. But maybe that's exactly the point of The Water. Because while watching the series, I kept asking myself the same question over and over again. What actually drives people to do the things they do? What makes someone choose one side over another? What pushes people to sacrifice others, or sacrifice themselves? And the answer I kept coming back to was always the same: love. Or hate. Sometimes envy. Every single character in this story feels driven by emotions that are so intense they almost become uncontrollable. And sacrifice exists everywhere in this series. Not just romantic sacrifice, but extreme sacrifice. The kind that completely consumes you for the sake of someone you love. And then there's Oppo, who honestly surprised me so much in the latest episodes. Watching her change because of her love for Lada was incredible, especially because Lada never actually asks her to change. There's no pressure, no obligation. Oppo changes naturally, almost instinctively, because her feelings transform her from the inside out. And I think that's what makes it feel so pure, because it's completely different when someone forces you to become another version of yourself. Changes made out of obligation always carry a different emotional weight. But with Appo, everything feels genuine, like her growth truly comes from within. And I have to say, during the last episodes, Appo became exactly the kind of female character that I absolutely love watching. Intelligent, clever, strong, the kind of woman who feels impossible to break or intimidate, the kind of woman who can stand against absolutely everything and everyone, except love. And honestly, I think that's where the character becomes truly beautiful, because she shows vulnerability without ever losing her strength. One of the things that shocked me the most about the series was this emotional reversal between the characters. Because honestly, I really didn't expect Lada to be the one suffering the most, especially considering she was the one who initially approached Appo with questionable intentions. I genuinely thought the story would go in a much more predictable direction, but it didn't. And for me, that matters so much. I love when a drama can still surprise me without feeling forced. Especially in the latest episodes, I found myself completely holding my breath while watching. You know that feeling when a drama fully consumes you and you keep thinking, okay, something's about to happen? That's exactly how I felt the entire time. And honestly, I suffered so much every single time Lotta pushed Oppo away. Every single time. I kept hoping she would give in immediately, at the very first touch, the very first look. Even during the entire hotel escape situation before the big event, I was emotionally invested the entire time, only to end up completely heartbroken afterward. Without spoiling too much for those of you who still haven't started the series, because I genuinely think it's worth watching, I also need to say how much I absolutely loved Net and Oppo's father. Absolute geniuses. Every single time they appeared on screen, they added something important to the story, emotionally and narratively. They're the type of supporting characters who secretly become essential to the balance of the entire drama. I think that's exactly why The Water stayed with me so deeply. Because underneath all the romantic tension, underneath the family conflicts, and underneath all the drama, this series is constantly talking about people desperately trying to be loved without having to stop being themselves. Did The Water emotionally destroy you as much as it destroyed me? Which character did you connect with the most? And do you think love changes people for the better, or simply reveals who they already are deep down? Let me know everything down in the comments, because I genuinely love reading your thoughts and discussing these series with you. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me here on Andy on Set for more GL dramas, films, deep character analysis, and emotional chaos every single week.